Hi, Derek Hickson once again for the $3.99 Clean Slate Network. As promised, after the meal penalty video, we showed you the numbers associated with meal penalty versus meal money. We told you we would do the overtime hours and the turnaround time, and we have. These are the numbers. Once again, I'm going to step out of the video so you can focus on the numbers, but I want you to see what we're dealing with here. Up in the top left-hand corner, once again, we're based on 44 weeks in a year. So instead of breaking it down by hours like we did on the meal penalties at 60, 65, 70, 75, and 80 hours a week, we just did at a plain 10 hours of overtime. That's 2 hours a day if you're under 12 and they're budgeted for 14. So that's 2 hours a day on a 5-day week is 10 hours. And then 1 day a month that you work, you go into forced call. So it's 10 hours of overtime, 10 days a year on forced call. We've broken it down at the MOW rate, which is now $28 an hour. And we picked a rate, we kind of middle of the roaded it at $35 an hour because there's so many contracts and so many feature rates or top TV rates. So we picked $35 an hour as a middle rate. Then, just in case you think those numbers are too high, we broke it down to 5 hours of overtime, 1 overtime hour a day, plus 5 days in a year at turnaround time. Once again, we broke it down into the MOW rate at $28 an hour and the regular rate at $35 an hour. This is what I want you to see. Your overtime shortages, this is the lowest rate. If you work at nothing but an MOW rate, $28, your overtime shortages of $280 a week are $12,320. Your forced call, you're losing out on $1,960. Put that with your meal penalties. We've already established that the meal penalties are $14,256 a year. You put those three numbers together and you come up with $28,536 a year at only 1 overtime hour a day, 5 days of turnaround time at the lowest rate, the MOW rate. Go over here to this column. If this is more accurate, which we think it is, 10 hours of overtime, 10 days of turnaround at a $35 rate or a regular rate, you're missing out on almost $50,000 a year, okay, at 44 weeks a year worked. If you put that into the 6 years, the context of the current administration being in power, you've lost $171,216 while Steve has been in office. If you figure it at the regular rate at the 10 hours, you lost almost $300,000 for the 6 years that the current administration has been in office. And the numbers fluctuate between here. You got 192 over here at the high rate, then over here at the MOW rate, you're at 256, but that's at the 10 hours, okay? So let's stick with these two numbers. This is the low and this is the high. So you're losing out somewhere between $28,500 and $50,000 a year total because the contract is not being enforced. Over the 6 years of Steve being in office or the current administration, you're at $171,000 at the low end, and you're at $300,000 or $299,736 at the high end. The same time that they've been in office and you've been cheated out of this money, the pension fund has fallen 15.2%. We're operating right now in crisis mode, I promise you. The next number we're going to see is going to be for 2019. We don't know what it is yet, but it's going to be 65 point something. But I'm telling you, by our calculations, right this minute, we are operating somewhere in the 62.6 to 63% range, which puts us in a crisis mode. Same 6 years, your union dues have gone up 18%. Excuse me, while I flip over. In the same 6 years, the contributions for contract services have gone up over 150%. They've gone up from $18 million a year to over $50 million a year for 2018, and they're just going higher. Okay? So, once again, recap. This is what you're losing per year, somewhere in this range. This is what you've been losing since the current administration has been in office, just in salary. Meanwhile, your future is being mortgaged. It's costing you more out of pocket, and contract services is just getting more and more powerful with more and more money.